see you there, and welcome to Wouldn't You Like to Know? I'm Jack, your host, and spiritual guide for everything that you need to know. First up is Lorna, taking you through the ever-baffling world of politics, and explaining everything so you know exactly what you're voting for on the 12th of December. Take it away.
So you've registered to vote in the general election on December 12th. It's one of the most unpredictable and volatile in generations, and all of the major parties plan to implement a radically different programme should they win the keys to number 10. The Conservative government's reason for calling this general election is to break the deadlock in Parliament and get Brexit done.
Let's get Brexit done, get Brexit done to get Brexit done.
Currently, Prime Minister Boris Johnson does not have a majority in the House of Commons, preventing him from passing his Brexit deal, which is why we didn't leave the EU on the 31st of October. If he doesn't return with a majority, pro-Remain parties could move to hold a second referendum or stop Brexit from happening at all. That's the Labour Party, right? Well, not exactly. Under Jeremy Corbyn's leadership, Labour have yet to commit to either leave or remain. Instead, they promised to negotiate
a sensible deal
before putting it back to the public alongside the option of remain. The Liberal Democrats, led by Jo Swinson, have adopted the slogan
"Stop Brexit,"
promising to revoke Article 50 should they win power. But they, like the Green Party, would also support a second referendum. As for the Brexit Party, their policy has historically been a clean break Brexit, but they have now moved to back Boris Johnson's deal. Labour and the Conservatives have hugely differing visions for the UK economy. Given their non-committal position on leaving the EU, Labour are eager to move the conversation away from Brexit and towards their most radical manifesto in years. They've promised to increase public spending in line with higher taxes and nationalise some of the UK's key industries like railways, Royal Mail and broadband. Instead of chasing businesses, the Tories are promising tax breaks for everyday workers and increased investment in infrastructure. But really, they want to keep the focus on Brexit and their commitment to delivering it. Since its inception under Clement Attlee's Labour government in 1948, the National Health Service has played a key issue in general elections. Under especially high strain this winter, all of the parties are promising increased spending on the NHS over the next few years. Both Labour and Lib Dems are promising £26 billion in additional funding by 2024, while the Tories are promising £20 billion. The Lib Dems have announced a student mental health charter. Under their plans, universities will be required to guarantee access to high-quality mental health services. The consensus is the UK must eliminate its greenhouse gas emissions in the next 10 to 20 years. Unsurprisingly, it is the Greens who have made the most radical proposals, promising to ban the gases produced by burning fossil fuels by 2030. Labour, too, has agreed to set a path towards net zero by then. The Lib Dems, meanwhile, have set 2045 as their no emissions deadline. The Conservatives have made major commitments too, but they are sticking to their 30-year target announced in June. Despite all of their promises, however, even 2050 is an ambitious goal. In the event of a hung parliament, where no party has a majority of the seats, the Lib Dems have ruled out a coalition with either Labour or the Conservatives, while the price of the SNP's support is another referendum on Scottish independence. This election will likely be won or lost on constituency level, and given our far from perfect first-past-the-post voting system, it might make sense for you to tactically vote against a less likely candidate to stop them from winning. Just Google tactical vote and enter the postcode of where you'll be voting to find out more. But if you're still split on who deserves your backing, sites like Vote for Policies and isidewith.com, as well as the BBC's list of party pledges, can help you decide.
Cheers for that, Lorna. Next up is all the information on the strikes and how they've made an impact in the last 2 weeks.
So we're here with Liverpool Student Media, and your name is?
Eddie Malloy.
Right, so I just wanted to ask you a few questions. What are the reasons you are here today?
Well, there's several reasons I'm here today. There was a ballot a few weeks ago across the universities in Britain, across trade union members, UCU members. There were two ballots, in fact. One was about defending pensions, and the other one is about getting pay equality, ending casualisation, and ending the gender pay gap as well. So both of those reasons I'm at the strike today for. But for me personally, I'm a casualised worker. I'm on a 10-month contract and employed in a 0.5 part-time, full-time equivalent. But I work 40 and 50 hours a week, so I feel I'm underpaid and undervalued, and we're not getting fair pay. We're not getting security. We don't know where we're going to be working in 10 months' time. They're not giving me employment over the summer months, so I don't know what I'm going to do then. And I think the way the university has treated both staff and students as well, especially international students, about the threats that they were making against them last week has been absolutely appalling.
Yeah, no, obviously these are very valid reasons for strike. I was just wondering how effective you feel the strike is at the moment in getting those points across.
So I think we've been engaging with students a lot, as much as we can, and telling them why the strike is occurring, and I think that we really value all the solidarity that we're getting from students, and if there's any questions or queries, we're very, very happy to answer them. And I think that's really a really key way for us to be effective, and I think that solidarity, I think the interest of the workers in the university and the lecturers and whoever else and the students is the same interest. We want a better education, we want to be able to provide a better education, but we also want to be treated fairly and with dignity.
Okay, great. Know the reasons why you're out here today?
Personally, I'm out here today because I voted in the ballot about a variety of different reasons why aspects of pay or indeed workload that are unfair or are difficult for young academics across the country. I'm personally what's called an ECR, an early career researcher. I'm really lucky, I've got a permanent job, but a lot of people that I graduated from my PhD with are not so lucky. They're working precarious or part-time or insecure contracts, and that's enormously difficult, and it impacts particularly on academics of colour, on women, on people who are disabled, who struggle with the sorts of workloads that are required to get a permanent and secure job in academia. That's personally why I'm on strike. Now, there's a variety of different reasons why people will have voted in these ballots and would have come out today, but that's mine.
Okay, and are you, would you say that the strike has been effective in getting these points across?
I think on a national level, there's a kind of variety of different conversations. I think the head of the ECU, Jo Grady, was quite impressive when I saw her on television the other day in identifying the fact that this is not just about pay, it's not about lining people who are already on quite good salaries pockets, it's not even about pensions for quite a lot of people. That actually it's about quality for a lot of people who are on strike. Now, I can't speak for everyone, and it would be wrong of me to do so. You know, it devastates me that we're not being able to teach our students who need us. At the same time, we want to be able to provide our students with a good service where we can focus on them and help them because we've got the time to do that for a lot of people who are on strike. Now, I can't speak for everyone, and it would be wrong of me to do so. Now, it's really more of a question for you guys. Do you think we've been effective in communicating to the students the different reasons why we've been on strike?
Next up, we have an exciting interview with the up-and-coming talent Brook Bentham, who recently supported the Sam Fender gig in the Guild.
So, when did you know you wanted to be a musician? Hold on, you've got to take the mic and pray. That's fine.
I think when I did music GCSE, I did the theatre school from when I started. When I was 9, I started theatre school, and that was music, drama, dance, and I enjoyed the music part of it. And then I think when I did music GCSE, I was like, oh, this is great. And I started singing lessons, and my singing teacher told me to start writing songs, and got me to start busking and doing gigs. So it just stemmed from there really, and then I was like, okay, this is what I'm doing now. Yeah.
So I know my parents, if I turned around to them and was like, Mum, I'm not going to do a proper job.
Yeah.
I want to pursue music or something in the more sort of media area.
Yeah.
She'd probably question it a little bit. So what were your parents 100% supportive, or were they more like, Brooke, go out, get a real job, actually make some money?
I mean, I think as soon as your parents realise that you can sing, they're like, right, we'll get you on The Voice. And then you're like, okay. When you're like 13, you're like, yeah, this is going to be amazing. And then you go and they say no, and you're like, okay. And then, when I told them I wanted to do music, they were like, oh yeah, that's fine. As long as you do like actual music and not popular music, which is what I opted to do. And they were supportive. My mum wasn't best pleased, but she was like, oh, you're doing it, so I guess.
Yeah.
I'm a very strong-willed person. I'll do my own thing if I want to.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So you've got a new album coming out in February. What sort of, like, can we expect some more new stuff, or is it sort of similar to stuff you've already brought out?
It's kind of completely new. I've like had 2 singles out already, and like obviously from the album, they're obviously like in the new direction. But the stuff I had before, like I wasn't really inspired by it, and it's not anything that I would really listen to or like sounds like any of my influences. I think like you can really get caught up when you're in a studio and like everything sounds amazing, and you're like, yeah, this sounds great. And then it comes a few months later, and you're like, oh, this isn't anything that I would normally listen to.
Yeah.
So I think the new album's just like, it's way more like, there's no good way to say, it's a bit more rock, guitar heavy. Yeah.
Was the stuff that you're writing then, was it that like your own choice, or was that the media, like you're saying you wouldn't have listened to it yourself, was that your own choice, or were like the label saying, you know, this is the way you should go, you should produce this is what's going to sell?
No, to be honest, my label are absolutely fine, they like, do what you want. When I started doing this album though, they were a bit like, oh, can you sing a bit better? And I'm like, all right.
Okay, thanks.
No, they're lovely people. But I think when I did my other EPs, I was working with a band, and like I think their influences like mixed with mine, and also like that was kind of the first time that I probably started working in the studio. So I didn't really know how like producers worked and like how you were supposed to interact and collaborate with the producer. So I kind of took the back seat a lot, whereas with the album I actually kind of knew what to do and like where I wanted to go.
So you're from around Newcastle originally. What was the music scene like there growing up, and what was there any inspiration that you've drawn on from there?
There wasn't really a music scene. I grew up in South Shields, which is just outside of Newcastle. But like the music scene, I mainly did busking, which is like, I mean like gigs in pubs and stuff like that. In terms of like actual gigging, it was really hard to like find a community, or like, especially for what I did. I found Sam Fender, who I'm touring with now. We met through busking, so that was really great. But like, I think as soon as I left Newcastle, there started to become some sort of music scene. But when I was there, it's not really. It wasn't anything.
It's now sort of developing as you've left.
Yeah.
So, what do you have like any sort of ritual that you do before performing to get yourself like psyched up for it in the mental space?
I think I just drink a lot of tea.
I love that.
It depends on the gig. I mean, for something like this, which like this Sam Fender tour, which is like really big shows, I don't drink alcohol, and I warm up in the mornings and just like try to keep talking to him. It's quite boring, to be honest, touring. Like, it really is.
You're not doing like a Sharpay thing?
No. Although I do a lot of breathing exercises. It's more like meditation stuff to like calm anxiety, you know. But yeah, it's not rock and roll at all.
So you've gone on a few tours recently. What's like a really good memory that stands out, or just something like really funny that's happened on a tour that you've been on recently?
Oh God, I don't know.
Is this again not going to be very rock and roll?
No, it's really not rock and roll.
A lot of coffee and tea.
Honestly, it really is. I genuinely can't think of one. Like, I genuinely can't.
I went like a punch up in a bar somewhere.
Oh my God,
you just
no.
like in Germany, or have you been?
I was in Germany, like, I've been to Germany.
I don't know where I've got Germany from. I've dreamt.
Oh my God, this is so boring that I've got no stories.
It's okay, to be fair, if someone asks me like a question about like my uni experience, something exciting that's happened, I'd be like, There was that one time I dropped my cheesy chips.
Actually, you know what? I was touring with a band called Soccer Mommy last year, and we went to Ghent, I think Ghent.
Somewhere.
And we decided to have a big night out, and I was there alone, so like as in I flew there for the night, and then was flying back the next morning, and I slept in for my flight, had to pay £100 taxi for the airport. And then I had to like run through the airport, like skip all the queues, and I was so hungover. And I just remember like being on the plane for like half an hour, it being like 3 hours and I hadn't had a drink of water.
Oh.
And I ordered like 7 Sprites in the middle of the flight. But that's as rock and roll as it's been,
Yeah.
you know.
I've had those train journeys after visiting a friend, and then gone out that night.
Yeah.
So I did that St Patrick's Day. Don't do it to yourself. Was it worth it?
Absolutely. You know what? Yeah, it was. We had a great night.
It was worth £100. Yeah. So last question I've got for you, just because I know it's November, I don't know if you're one of those people who hates Christmas adverts already in November.
Yeah.
But this probably will go out in December. So what would be a great Secret Santa gift that you could get for someone?
Ooh, a great Secret Santa gift. So I've like, with all the whole sustainability thing, I'm like, we need to stop buying gifts that like people don't need.
Yeah.
So I think something thoughtful. But then if you don't know the person, I don't know.
Bit difficult.
I really can't think on the spot about these things. A nice notebook. I'd love a nice notebook.
Oh,
that is so boring, isn't it?
I feel like you're a bit of like, I mean this is a compliment because I'm also an old grandma, but I feel like you're like kind of a grandma.
I fully am, especially on this tour because I'm just
like give me a cup of tea.
full vocal rest mode and I'm just like, should we go to bed?
Should we go to bed? It's lovely meeting you.
Yeah, you
Thank
too.
you so much.
Last but not least, Lorna's back, putting her brain to the test in the recent University Challenge trials. Let's see how she does, shall we?
Hi. So we got an email in from the guild looking for someone to do our university challenge. I think you're definitely our genius in the media society.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I'd be up for that.
Really? Perfect.
Yeah. I'm feeling good. I'm really nervous, but I'm feeling good and I'm excited to challenge my general knowledge. To prepare, I've just watched old episodes of University Challenge because my general knowledge isn't that good, so I wanted to see what questions they'd ask. I hope to gain knowledge of how good my general knowledge is, because I don't think it's very good. So I'm hoping to learn that it's better than it is, or maybe worse than it is. I think I'm going to get a very low score, but hopefully I'll be surprised.
How did it go?
It was so hard.
How hard?
I answered like 5 questions.
Do you think you got those right?
No.
How many questions were there?
Like over 50.
Wow.
I said 50. I'm proud that I...
Yeah, it was really tricky.
Do you think you're going to be making it through?
Really no.
Oh, what was the history like? Was there no history? No good history?
It wasn't like, yeah.
Was it classical? Was that it? I have a feeling it might be.
Really?
Yeah, that was fun.
Do you find your result back?
No.
No. Do you think your preparation helped you?
Yes, I do think my preparation helped me, but I'm probably doing more next time.
Oof. Well, let's hope all those applying do a little better than Lorna did there. Anyway, that's all from us now. This has been Wouldn't You Like to Know? And from me and the rest of the team, we would like to wish you all a Merry Christmas.